Hey guys, my name is Ryan. We're back again with another Spirit Island video. Today we are talking about the spirit Covet's Gleaming Shards of Earth. If you've never heard of that spirit, that is A-okay. It is not an official spirit. It is an Apocrypha spirit. What is an Apocrypha spirit? An Apocrypha spirit is basically it's a fan-made spirit. The only difference is that the fan happens to be Eric Royce. You know, the guy whose name is on the box. The designer of Spirit Island does like Spirit Island. And so he has a couple times designed a spirit that has wound up not being an official one. So with Covet's Gleaming Shards of Earth, this one is basically like a European spirit, as opposed to, one that would be native to an island where Spirit Island actually takes place. And so it doesn't really make sense to exist in the world of Spirit Island. And so it just doesn't make sense for it to wind up actually in a real printed product. However, it's got a really interesting, very fun design, and so it's definitely something worth taking a look at. Now, a little bit of history with this spirit. All the way back, we can see version 1.0 is July 7th, 2024. The spirit originally came out, and it was actually me who was selected to do the reveal stream. So I got to go on stream with Ted Vaness, the developer for Spirit Island. And we revealed this spirit for the very first time to the world, played a little bit of a game, and, it was a really fun, cool experience, and I was really happy to be chosen for that. If you want to see that original stream, if you go into the playlist for Covet's Gleaming Shards of Earth, I have all of my stuff there, including that original reveal stream. So after that came out, I did a couple videos, and I kind of stopped paying attention to Covet's. But I did not realize that development had actually continued for the spirit. You can learn a little bit through playtesting, but once the spirit goes out into the world, so many thousands of reps happen that, since this isn't an official printed product, why not just continue developing it, making it the best version of itself possible? Version 1.1 came out in December, and then version 1.2 came out, and I released another video for Covet's almost a year ago. And then once again, I wasn't really paying too close attention. I completely missed V1.3, and now we are on version 1.4. So we're going to come back and we're going to look at him again. As you can see here, this is a Google Drive. This is actually publicly available. If you take a look in the description of this video, I'm going to have a link to this Google Drive. But also, if you go to the Spirit Island wiki and you go to the page for Covet's Gleaming Shards of Earth, there is a link that'll bring you to this Google Drive. In here, you can see all the old versions of the spirit. You can take a look at the original panels, original uniques, and then you can go iteratively, step by step, and you can see the way the spirit was developed over time. What's really cool is we also get these patch notes, which will tell you what was changed and why changes were made. So if you are the type of person who wants to make your own spirits, and you want to get a little bit of insight on the way that you can tweak and improve, or what other people do to tweak and improve their spirits, this is coming directly from Ted Vaness, the guy who made the game. So it's a great resource for us to have, even if you don't care about this spirit. If you just want to, learn how to get better at making other spirits, it's definitely worth checking out. So you can take a look at the patch notes all the way up and through until we get to patch 1.4. Now, the notable thing about this is if you go to the bottom of these patch notes, it says, nothing, we're done. There's nothing to look forward to in this watch list. This is going to be the final version of the spirit. There is no intentions to make any more changes going forward. Sure, you could always continue to work on it. But, as a professional, at some point, you have to say that the time and resources invested into making a spirit better is just not worth it, right? Our time here is finite. Our resources are finite. And it's probably going to be more valuable to just work on the next thing and to make another great spirit. So if you want to play this spirit physically, we have all of the print and play files here. But if you want to play digitally, you can do so on Tabletop Simulator. So here in Tabletop Simulator, you open up the Spirit Island mod and you come over here to this box. One of the expansions, by default, it will not be checked. If you click it, it is the Apocrypha. And then if we zoom out, come here to the upper right-hand corner, you can see Covet's Gleaming Shards of Earth up here in the corner. Spreading Rot Renews the Earth is another Apocrypha spirit. This one actually came out before I even started playing this game. I think this is like a 2019 or something is when this guy came out. Maybe someday I'll take a look at this. I don't think I've ever actually played it. I've heard, though, that this spirit might be a little OP. I don't know anything about him. But anyways, we're going to be playing Covet's Gleaming Shards of Earth today. I have played all my videos solo. This guy does have a fascinating support power, so I think I'll definitely want to revisit him in the future with a multi-spirit game, especially since I'm doing a lot more two-handed stuff these days. But for today, we're just going to be playing him solo. And it's been a really long time since I've featured HME on this channel, so we're going to be going up against HME 6. No clue if this is a good matchup or not, but we'll find out together. All right, we rolled board E. All right, so if you've not seen this guy before, what the heck is going on? Why do we have another board here? Well, we have this whole mechanic called metal. This metal right here, we will be collecting it over the course of the game, and we can use that to augment our abilities. If you take a look, we have our starting innate powers kind of don't do a heck of a lot of anything. Instead, we have innate powers that matter. They're all locked behind these upgrades. You can see that there is one for all 8 of the elements in the game. And if we manage to get more, or if we choose not to use these, we can also use these treasures to just get permanent elements in a similar style to Starlight Seeks its form. All right, so we are an Incarna spirit. We start with our Incarna, this little heart-looking thing, and our Horde, which is this cave-looking thing, and a presence, and they all start either in a mountain or in a land with blight. Taking a look at board E, from my experience, I know that you want to start as centrally as possible, so we're going to start in E5. So we got our Horde. Let's lock that. It will not move for the whole game. Presence and an Incarna. This is just a bag of metal. We'll leave that out in the ocean, or actually I think we can put that out there. So it's really just not on the board, but we'll be adding metal to things over the course of the game in order to augment our spirit. So it's been a good long time. I think we want to start by just doing a read through of the spirit in its current form so that we know what it does. If you've watched other videos or the older versions of Covet's, one thing to note is that this guy used to have some present moments that were stacked like this, where you'd have branching paths, similar to like a Finder of Paths Unseen, but that is no longer the case here. We have a very traditional straight line top track, straight line bottom track. You can see that we top out at 5. It takes 2 presences to get to our first energy per turn, so we might be very poor to start out the game, though notably we do get energy on both G2 and G3. And then we have a nice mix of elements and card plays across the bottom. All right, special rules. Predatory roaming. We have an Incarna. When targeting a land with a power, you may push that Incarna towards or into that land, which can enable you to meet range and targeting requirements. This is a lot like Shroud of Silent Mist. Once per turn, you may add metal or move your Incarna directly to your Horde. Your powers can find metal. Add a metal to a town without metal, or 2 metal to a city that does not have metal. When it is destroyed, removed, or pushed, but not when replaced or otherwise moved, it drops the metal, leaving it unattached there. At your Incarna, each drop metal is attached to the Incarna, and when metal held by the Incarna is at the Horde, you can store it in the Horde. All right, follow the Horde instructions. Before we go down to the bottom panel, let's take a look here. We have 2 innate powers. Previous versions would only have 1, so this is something new for me, but the previous one was basically just adding metal to the board. Let's see what it is now. You get to find metal, right? That lets you add metal. Find more metal, okay? And then find metal and repeat. Okay, great. This is just straight up just churning the economy, making sure we can find sufficient metal across the board. Remember that if you find metal in a city, it gets 2, a town gets 1. So it's always better to find metal in cities instead of towns, just to increase the aggregate amount of metal available. Now, this I don't believe was here in an older version where you get an extra metal in a city that already has metal. So we can basically get 3 metal onto a city. And then this will only find metal on a town. Interesting. So all of this combined will get 4 metal, right? If we go onto a city, okay, 3rd one on the city, and then 1 more for the town. Okay, then repeat, we get up to 8 metal a turn. Threats, demands, and intimidation. Push or gather at Han. An invader does not participate in Ravage. Ooh, okay. So the invader does not participate in Ravage used to be one of the abilities on this lower board, but now we just always have access to it. That is fascinating to me. That's an insanely, insanely strong thing. In older versions, you would pick up that invader doesn't Ravage at your Incarna as like the first thing you would do, just to buy yourself time to do everything else. But now having it here is really interesting. Now we actually have an innate that interacts with the board. Great. So that means obviously there's going to be some new stuff here. Let's start by looking at the special rule. Place stored metal here during the spirit, slow, and fast phase. You can pay the metal cost to discard the top card of the minor power deck. Put the presence marker on a treasure matching an element on that card. You gain its benefit. Alternatively, put the presence on any space and gain a permanent element. And if the card has no elements, it is discarded. So Nature's Connection has no elements, but Elemental Boon is considered to have all elements. Okay, what do we get? Earth is a proliferation, but you can only do that once per game. Okay, well, I guess all of these are once per game, but this is just an instantaneous effect with no long-term value. So yeah, these ones are instantaneous effects. These ones are like additional special rules, and then these ones are innate. So we get a proliferation. Set aside the top 3 major powers face up. Take them when your Incarna holds 4 or more metal. Wow! 3 major powers that you take, which means that you don't need to forget for them. You just get them. That's wild. Okay. This is definitely one of those that's nice. We can open up with a lot of minors and then make a really fast transition into majors. That'll create a very explosive moment, right? Because after we collect all those majors, then we can spend the metal, maybe get another 2, at least get another 1 of these. That'll be a big swingy turn. Here, your damage dealing powers originating from the Incarnate deal +1 damage, another +1 if a major, and another +1 if it costs 5 or more. Okay, this used to be just +1 damage, I believe, and nothing else. So I can see that there's a big push towards majors with this plant and all that text on the animal. Harrowing form, your powers originating from your Incarna and your imposing form may push invaders as if they were explorers, towns, and Dahan. So this allows you to push cities. I think this used to be on a water element. Imposing form, when your Incarna moves into a land, you may push an explorer there. Ooh. That's exciting. So now, if we get both the water and the moon, every time that we move our Incarna, we can push a city? Wow. Okay. Fascinating. And it looks like this will trigger off of our special rule here. So this will allow for some insane combos. Wow, this completely changes the identity of the spirit, right? There is kind of like different archetypes of spirits that exist. And this all of a sudden makes me think of something much similar to like a Sunbright Whirlwind, right? Where you're controlling, you're kind of holding the game neutral, you slap down a major, and then you crush the board. Fascinating. Really excited to see how this plays out. All right, now we have our innate, our new innate power. So we have Violent Outburst, which is just fear and damage. Okay, it tops out at 4 fear, 4 damage. Pretty nice. Harrowing Gaze. This is our push one. Okay, so we get fear and pushes. So we get up to 4 pushes. And if we have this moon here, that could push like 4 cities. So insanely good top end. I do recall this topping out at only 3 pushes, and I don't even think it used to have fear. This used to also just be 3 damage, might not have had fear. I think I read in the patch notes that the elemental requirements are also down, so that's a huge boost in power if it takes less elements and it gets more effect. That's a big boost. Then over here, we get fear, another way of finding metal. And then I think this top end might be new as well. 2 damage, push 2 explorers. Once again, that could become a city push. Very exciting. And actually, ooh. We can find metal on a city and then immediately push that city to drop that metal. So that is pretty interesting. I remember I used to also like prioritize the sun one just so I could get more metal faster and, you know, get the rest of the spirit popping off. Very excited to see how this plays out. Let's take a look at our unique powers. Okay, this is our support power. This used to cost 1. Petition for Smoldering Wrath. Target spirit chooses any or all of gain a minor, play a minor by paying its power cost to you, and then a slow becomes a fast. And then they first must pay you 1 energy for each choice taken. If you choose yourself, choose only 1. Okay, so this is pretty terrible in solo. All my videos have been solo for this guy so far. So we've just been forgetting this for a major pretty quickly and basically never playing it. But I do want to come back and do a multi-handed game, so that way this petition can be pretty slick. But it's just a very interesting design space, right? There's no other support card where you have to pay your teammates. It always just kind of goes back to the supply whenever there's extra costs. So very interesting design space, very fun card, and certainly it opens up all kinds of cool combos, allowing you to, you know, pay for majors easier, right? If people are giving you energy. Melt Earth the Slag. This used to cost 2 energy. Deals a damage, and then for each invader with metal, deal 1 damage. And then 1 fear if this power destroys any city. Okay, yet this used to just produce a flat fear, I think, and produced only 1 additional damage. But now it looks like you can do a lot more than 1 damage, right? You can do 3 or more. Very cool. Unnerving Attention. Fear. If an invader has metal, 2 fear, and then get a push. Okay. And then Favors of Steel and Bone. Aldehan, and currently in target land, plus 6 HP. Wow. 2 fear. During invader phase, for each dropped metal, move a Dahan to the Incarnate, and they each bring a dropped metal. So this is a way that you can have your Incarnate on this side of the board and collect metal from that side of the board. Requires metal and Dahan to be used, and obviously would want there to be invaders as well. Very interesting card. Definitely some cool stuff you can do with it. Okay. Anyways, that's enough preamble. That's enough talking. Let's get into the game against HME 6. Starting off with the Sands. Okay. Well, right off the bat, we're looking at a Ravage coming in E6. Now, one thing that we notably do not have is we do not have any defend powers. That is something that we have to draft our way into. Okay, yeah, we're just going to have to get right into it. So, every single card provides Earth. That's good, so we're going to be getting Metal pretty easy. Has Earth Fire here. If we get another Earth Fire, we'd be able to get more Metal down. Though notably, if we get 3 metal on a single city, this only still does 2 damage because it's not an additional invader. With metal, it's just an additional metal on the board. Especially because this petition isn't too great for us. I think I'm going to open up by just gaining a power card. We're going to go for a minor. Gives me 2 energy. Uncanny Melting might be the kind of card that we need. Gnawing Root Biters is interesting, a way to push towns. Call to 10 could be interesting, right? So Call to 10 by moving Dahan around allows us to set up Favors of Steel and Bone. But I think there's better cards that get it done. Taking a look here, every single innate requires Earth Animal. So Earth is required for literally everything that we do. Animal is required for all of this stuff down here. So something like a Gnawing Root Biter suddenly becomes a little bit more playable. Yeah, let's go for the non-root biters. Especially because it costs 0, and we're definitely a little energy starved to get the game started. Taking a look at the fact that we have a dead spot on both of these, I'm already thinking I might have made a mistake. But maybe we go like here, and then we can go for like this on the next turn. So we can do Melt Earth plus any other Earth card. Next turn. So this turn, what we'd want to play? Probably Unnerving Attention. Yeah, we can go for an Unnerving Attention. Yeah, we'll do this. Is this the right play? No clue. We get to add this at range 1. Let's go up here. Okay, fast phase. We do get to find metal, and we can move our Incarna out here, and we'll find 2 metal on this city. Next turn, we might just do a Melt Earth to slag here. Like, if we add metal to this town, then we can Melt Earth to kill the city, and then, you know, start to get some things going. Okay, skip the first event of the game, Ethereal Conjunction. Get to build. This becomes a Ravage. We get to Mining Boom. I think we'll Mining Boom here. And then explore the wetlands. Okay. I don't know if I can afford to take 3 Ravages next turn. That might be too much too fast. So I think we'll go here for a Fear and kick you over. Time passes. So now if we do something like this, let's see, if we did this, then Vader does not participate in Ravage. It might not be very easy to use considering the adversary that we're up against. Yeah, I think annoying root biters might be the ticket. So we gain 1 energy, add 2 presence. So we add a presence at the Incarna, and then a presence at range 1 from the Horde. So we'll just go here, so we're in lands with the Han. Go here in the land with the Incarna. And then we find a metal on the town, and we get to add an additional metal to the city. Oh, and we get to push or gather a Dahan. That's a fast power. So I want to save this, so we will push you over. Okay, event. Invaders do not ravage on land unless there are more invaders than 1. Okay. Beast damage. 1 beast. Beast does 1 damage each. Okay, push a Dahan per Badlands Disease. 2 land without Badlands Disease. Not sure if we want to go here, but now everything is at least paired up. Okay, Ravage. Ravage. Flip. Oh my golly. Alright, so this is going to upgrade to a city. Okay, we get to add 2 cities here. We will proliferate. Here feels very safe. And then we get to add a Dahan to a land with Dahan. Go out here. Okay, build. And then we will do a mining boom. Build and upgrade. Let's see. Go build, upgrade. And then this land will wind up hitting it with the favors of steel and bone. Okay, and then we'll explore. Let's see. There is plenty of blight on the board, so now the extra explorers turn off. All right, and here we go. So I do want to kill off this city to collect that metal, so that way we can, start to do things. So there are two invaders with metal, so it does 3 damage. We get an extra fear because we're going to kill this city. All that metal comes on over. Once per turn, we can jump right back to our horde. We can take all this metal, bring it over here, and our first 2 each cost 1. So we'll cut this down to just 1, and we pull the top 2 minor powers. Okay, number 1. Moon, air, animal. Okay. Moon, air, animal. Animal gives us bonus damage, which will be very nice. We're missing on fire and sun, which is just ways we can get more activity this turn. Air is nice for a push power. Moon is really nice, but it's too early for it, right? This augments an ability that we really don't have yet. And in this matchup, we might not even care about it. But I think the animal we are going to care about, just getting extra damage, we're definitely going to use. Okay, card number 2. Moon, fire, water, plant. Well, I think we definitely want to use the fire, especially with this +1 damage. Now it becomes a fear and 2 damage. I think that's going to be a great thing. It's definitely too early for the plant, too early for the moon. And then, we got fire, and then water. Pushing explorers. Yeah, water is actually going to be a really nice one. But that's pushing explorers as opposed to gaining the ability to kill explorers. Okay, so we are going to get 2 damage. By sourcing from this. Okay, so we can use this gnawing root biters. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come here, kill, kill with a fear. That makes use of everything. Okay. So now our game plan is to throw down some metal right here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 6 HP, so one of these will die unless if we manage to get rid of one single explorer, then everything will survive. And then these metal will teleport to us, so we can invest our resources into other things, such as land number 7. Okay. If we go top track, we'll be at 4 energy, which is enough for a major. We could just get rid of this petition. Ooh, Walls of Rock and Thorn is really nice. Ooh, T-Sack. T-Sack seems like a really spicy meatball. How do we get our presence back? How do we get our Incarna back if it's destroyed? Pushed. Once per turn, you may add or move your Incarna directly. Okay. Yeah, so once per turn, we can just bring our Incarna right back. So the point is that with T-Sack, you can destroy your Incarna as one of your 3 presence as a way of just like preserving your real presence. I think that's got to be the pick. I think that's got the great top end available to us. We'll go here. Let's see, we'll gain, pay. Let's see. In order to use this card, we must find metal here. So let's find metal. Okay, then we will go for 2 fear. Whoops, wrong thing. Reminder token. Okay. Then over here, T-Sack. Okay, so we'll go 1 and go 2, 3. We do not have threshold. Only 3 elements off. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what do we get? We get this elusive ambush. Ooh, 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 ooh. So either version, a 1 damage or a defend 4, will protect one of our Dahan. I'm just going to go for the defend 4. So that way it's possible if we get like a defend 1 per Dahan type of effect, we'll take no blight at all in land number 8, which would be pretty slick. Ooh, that maxes out this innate here. So great. Yeah, this T-Sack is going to turn into a nice big swingy turn. If we manage to pull a sun, like after this dies, we'll bring this back as our once per turn. Yeah, after this dies, we'll get 2 metal in, so that'll let me flip over 1 treasure. If we happen to hit if we hit a sun, I'm definitely going to take it because it'll let me find a metal immediately, and I can put it, you know, like here, and then come in and immediately attack. That would be just an amazing sequence. Okay, event. Add a blight to a land adjacent to a land with blight. So we either take a blight, and we're probably taking a blight here, so that would put us down to 1, or we just sack 2 presents. So I think we just gotta sack 2. We didn't pull anything that requires a sacred site, so we can go 1, 2. Okay, Beast kills Explorer. And then Coastal Dahan for free. Strife in a Beast, Disease, or Dahan. So if we Strife here, it becomes 5 against 4. So yeah, we're going to Strife the city, and then it's going to immediately Ravage. It'll come right off. Okay, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 2 metal fly over along with 2 Dahan, and then these will cash in immediately. Okay. Build 1, 2. And then we get to Mining Boom. So that's going to be 4 damage. It's going to be 5 damage. So if we add 5 HP here, then both of these lands will be Explorer Town. Call to Ferocity solves this. Yes, we do this. Exploring the wetlands. And our escalation is to explore in 2 lands. So we go explore, explore. Recognizing that we're about to be getting this mining card. So we want as many mining lands as possible to minimize the total quantity of invaders added to the board. Okay, slow phase. Let's cash this in. And let's pull a miner. Looking for a sun. Opa. Okay, so we already got animal. So if we were to take animal, we'd only be able to use it for an element. There is water, okay, which gives us a lot of push and control, which I'm interested in. Plant, it's almost time for plant, but not quite yet. Yeah, it's just got to be this sun. Because now we're going to target, I think it was the E7 jungles. So yeah, 2 fear. Find metal in that city. 2 fear, 2 damage, push to explore. So 2 fear, fine, 2 metal. 2 damage becomes 3 damage because of our +1 damage. Okay, so 2 damage becomes 3 damage. And push and explore will push you... do I want to go here? I think I go here. Okay, and our Arcana comes in with that action. And then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 5 damage. Boom, boom. Now, we already brought our Destroyed Incarna back, so we cannot do it again for free this turn. We would have to use a power like over here and then drag this one land closer in order to get that ability. Thankfully, we can do that because we got Call to Ferocity. So we'll use Call to Ferocity, targeting the 3. We can bring this one land closer. It'll be a fear and a push. And now we're in the land with the Horde, so we can cash in all of this metal. 2 of them cashes in here. And we get to pull another minor power. Blood Draws Predators. Ooh. Well, we already got Sun. We already got Animal. Yeah, we already got Animal, Fire, and Sun. So that just leaves Water, which is something I've been talking about for a little bit as a good thing. So, yep, there we go. Now we've got all of these really nice powers. We're going to start feeling very strong. Weep for what is lost. We can get 3 fear if we just target E1. Just having a massive fear turn. Holy cow. Gosh, this guy produces a lot of fear. E1, E6, both of them will produce a lot of fear. If I target E6, I get to do 2 pushes, so I could do something like this. But I don't want to make these into mining lands because I don't want to, like, even as cool as it is to deny a Explore, I don't want to get ravaged on. So I'm going to go do it here. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to push and explore this way. And I'm not going to bring my Incarna over. Well, we got a nice swingy turn here. Looking at no ravages. And all of these lands aren't going to explore, so we're going to be in a pretty good place. Let's just reclaim, gain a minor, and we'll probably just be doing a lot of double growth. We have a very large hand thanks to this T-Sack, and we need to just build up having presence on the board again, so we can hopefully T-Sack again in the future. Ooh, Quicken the Earth Struggle. That is most likely going to be the pick. It's just a really effective card at dealing with big lands. Hitting that Essential Defend 10. Though, shout out to Reign of Blood. The way that this game is going, might just be a Reign of Blood game. But yeah, no, we're going to go for Quicken. Just seems like a very sensible thing to do. And now we get our 2 card plays. What shallst they be? So if we target 6 with something, we can move our Incarna and then kick that out, which is very fun. I think it's pretty... I mean, we've got... like, this is the turn that we just want to do nothing but slow powers. Because everything that we've got in the fast, as far as fast goes, we are 100% on top of it. So this is a great time just to pick up some tempo. All of these fast, we're just going to kick off to the side. We don't need any of them. Let's see, we've got like damage and push. We could go for like a weep. Maybe if we do this, that will... Oh, I need another animal. I don't have any animals there. Trying to find a way to pick up even more metal. I do need the earth, so I need an earth, animal, sun. So I don't have access. Earth, animal, sun. Yeah, that's actually the ticket. That actually maximizes the amount of metal that I would gain. Is it worth it for that extra bit of metal? I mean, this is kind of the card I don't really want to play again. So maybe it is worth going for. Also note that when the mining land is in the build slot, there are no ravages at that time. So like right now is just kind of like the easiest point of the game whenever you're playing against HME. It just really just bounces back to you. Yeah, honestly, yeah. Let's just do that. Let's just gain our internal eco. If we get one more metal, we could potentially pick this up, though there is no short-term value there. We'll just add metal here, and that'll be the way that we deny this land. And then, yeah, having that other metal adding power here will allow me to kill a city with Melt Earth. Okay. So yeah, we'll add metal to this city, bringing this incarnate in, pushing you over. And actually, we find an extra metal in a city with metal, so that'll go up to 3. There is no targets for this, which is unfortunate because it is worth 2 fear. Well, actually, I can push or gather a Dahan. So I could just do this. Bring in my incarnate in. Use this, 2 fear. Very cool. Very cool. And by pushing that over, I can kick this explorer somewhere. But I don't want to. Invader phase, event. Ooh. +1 damage. Yeah, that's fine by me. We don't need to worry about that at all. So we've got this Unnerving Attention as my only air card. I would have to forget it. That's perfectly fine in order for us to get rid of the top fear card. Okay, add a beast to a jungle with no blight. And get a fear. And get a wilds. Great. Lots of fear cards. Terror level 2. Choose a different land. Gather up to 2. 1 damage if Dahan are present. Okay. We're going to explore a town for land matching a Ravage card. Gather 3 from a single land into a land with 2 or more invaders. I could gather this way. Boom, boom. Now, right now, it's a lost condition, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. However, you only count the lost condition at the end of fast phase. So I have all of the next slow phase, fear cards, whatever. I got time to deal with this. And I'm already planning on killing some stuff. But I got time to deal with this. It's not instantly a loss. Coastal land needs gather Dahan. 1 damage per Dahan. All right. Gather a Dahan and damage. 1 more fear and we get terror level 3. Defend 6 in the coastal lands. And then skip builds that would add a city. This is irrelevant. There will be no build actions. Although actually, no. We can use this and we can mining boom here. And then it just doesn't build. It'll only upgrade. On each board, remove a town. Oh wait, this won't build a city though because it would build a town. I guess you could do a build action here, right, and have this skip it instead of this. That's cute. Okay, if we remove a town, might as well just do that so we don't lose. Okay, Ravage, build, Mining Boom. So we'll go Mining Boom here. Okay, so it's not the disease, it's the fear card, and then we just upgrade. And then we explore salts. So we explore the not mining lands, of which there are 3. Slow phase. Okay, we get 2 fear, and we get to find metal here. Then we're going to get 3 damage and an extra fear because we're going to kill this city. And then we're going to jump back. We actually get a +1 damage because it came from our Incarna as well. And we get this. So we'll kill an explorer. And then we'll do our 1 fear, 1 damage to be 1 fear, 2 damage, killing off this. So now we get 4 metal. And then we'll jump back, taking all of this metal with us, getting us up to 6. These next 2 each cost 3. So let's get ourselves 2 more treasures. All right. We got... Ooh. Maybe it's a good time to go for these majors. We could also start pushing non-explorers. And then fire's taken. Of course, we can always gain elements. I think we're going to go for the majors because as we're starting to fill up this board and we're running out of elements to use, we're going to be more likely to go down here. And seeing the majors that we could gain... is going to give us a sense of direction. So we set aside 3 major powers face up. 1, 2, 3. And we get Bargains of Coursing Path, Strangling Firevine, and Flocking Red Talons. Okay. Very cool. Let's see. We get an animal here, fire here. That's it. So that was you. And then Fleshrot Fever. So air is unclaimed, and that's it. So it's either air or gain an element. Air or gain an element. And the fact that we just forgot our air card makes air really seem like not the choice. We have 0 air in our hand, so let's go for a element. We do have a little bit of earth. Let's pick up, I'm thinking animal. Could go for fire to help here. Maybe plant, because plant's good for all this. Yeah, we actually don't have, but I can't gain a plant because I don't have a plant on this card. Yeah, so it's either going to be fire or animal. And we do have actually tons and tons and tons of fire. We have a lot less animal. It's going to be animal. All right, forget. An interesting thing, I guess I could have delayed that second one, right? Because we would have had 3 metal, and I need to collect 4 metal in order to actually receive these majors. So maybe I should have waited on that. But honestly, we're only 10 fear away from winning the game. The game might just end right now. Okay. So now what do we do? Once again, we have a very quiet, very easy turn. Let's go like here. Here. No, I'd want to go... I mean, gosh, that just sets me up this direction. Air, animal, earth. Maybe I just try and pull another major instead of doing this T-sack? Yeah, let's do that. Ravaged Undergrowth. I do like this card. Being able to convert blight into damage can be very helpful. We just picked up a free animal, which makes Infestation of Venomous Spiders a much stronger card. It's also great, perfect tri-element matching here. And we could pick up this air. So we pick up air, and then so then the air part's covered, the animal part is covered because we got animal here. So we just play this and pair it with any earth card, of which is almost my whole hand. And then, yeah, that becomes the winner. So we will go here. Let's forget this T-Sack. We gain that air. Well, the funny thing is I really don't need to play it this turn. Right? There's no reason for me to play it. I guess I could do it in land number 6, but that's like a very expensive way to kill a town. Instead, let's just do like a Weep and a Call to Ferocity. Let's just do something that maximizes my slow damage. So I go here, and I just want to play a Fire Earth, of which I have 1 card. So let's see. Instead of going here, I could go here. Yep, that's what we'll do. So then we will find a metal and find an extra metal on the city. So 1, 2, 3, bringing my Incarna in. We will do a damage to all buildings. Boom, boom, boom. And an extra damage coming from the Incarna. There is no Ravages to make things not participate, so let's keep on rolling. Invader Phase event. Towns do +1 damage, okay. After a Ravage action adds a Blight, okay, all that's not relevant. Add a disease to the inland land with the most buildings, okay. And then spirits with 3 or more among their lands. We've got 1, 2... Awkward. Okay, no energy, no reclaim. Removes 2 explorers and 2 towns from a land with beast. Or 1 from a land adjacent. So we go boom, boom. Explorers do not affect the coast and do not act in lands with disease. Alright. Ravage. Build. Mining boom. I'm not sure on the rules if we choose to mining boom here, does just like nothing happen? I'm not sure. So let's mining boom here. Definitely don't want to do it in any of these lands, right? Because we don't want them to be mining. And then we'll explore the sands. Do not explore here, and do not act in lands with disease. That's pretty easy. And then we can go like explore. All right. We got a 3 damages here. And we get, so let's just do 2 fear. That's fine. And then we got 3 damage, which comes with an extra 2 fear attached. So 2 fear and then 3 damage. We'll go city, city, bringing 3 metal. This is no longer a mining land. And that was also all the cities. So there we go. That is a Terror level 3 victory against HME. Playing as Covet's Gleaming Shards of Earth. MVP absolutely goes to T-Sack. That one turn was absolutely insane. And it completely changed the entire direction of the game. Well, there you have it. That is the latest and greatest and final version of Covet's Gleaming Shards of Earth. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all. Have a glorious day.